Well, alright. Guess who's back? Yeah, baby. You know who it is. It's your boy, the fucking Momo King. How you guys doing? Alright, listen. I'm trying to get this, like my poor departed friend Jerry Ward used to say, square, trying to get that fucking fake-ass light out of there. Don't mind the background right now, because this is Chaos Nutrition's show. Okay? So now listen to me. We're back, alright? We're going to get into some training in this show. This is a training show. So, if you guys really like my shit, alright? Look, by the way, it's old school training, and I got the fucking, dude, listen, I got the old school fucking sweater on. Look, the 1970s fucking sweater. Ba-boom! Anyway, got the 1970s sweater on. And some of you people ask, what is these beads? These are rosary beads I wear, you know? Anyway, because I'm a rosary bead guy. But anyway, yeah, so we're back, and Chaos Nutrition is the one who wants this show. The godfather of Chaos, okay? He's a great guy. I've met him at one of the Arnold Classics or whatever, and he wants to really get this show back on the road. So if you guys want this show to work, and you take his supplements, go to chaosnutrition.com and check out his stuff. It's great stuff. Listen, pre-workouts, stuff like that, you know, they're all over the place, right? But Chaos Nutrition, he's got some good shit there. And his pre-workouts really bang. I'm just letting you know. So if you're going to spend money, support Chaos Nutrition, because that's who's doing this show. Alright? And we're going to get into shit. Listen, there's a lot of people out there, old school bodybuilding, and they're not old school. Motherfucker, I've been around since friggin' 1972 I started training. Remember in my 60s, you know? And, I mean, I got on stage in 1976. So please, don't give me that. Wait, where's that picture? What the frick is that? I don't know. All I see is stupid shit like Trump. Trump. Anyway, the Trump flag, American flag. Yeah, all stupid shit laying around here. But I've been around a long time. Nobody knows old school like I know old school. Okay, I was in Gold's Gym when guys, you know, I was in there in 80, 81, 82, 83, like that, you know? I got there at the end of 1980, into 81, the whole year, 82 to 83. Then I was back later on in the 80s, you know, but that was only for a couple weeks. But I lived there for a while. And, bro, I seen it all, and they all know me. And you seen the pictures of me in Gold's Gym, me with Frank, what is his name? Samir Banu. I was 20 years old. I didn't even know that's where I learned what steroids were. You know what I mean? I mean, I had a friend, I tell everybody, Dave Palumbo's first trainer, Peter Neff, who was my friend, is the one that used to tell me I'm natural. And I used to say, well, what do you mean natural? I thought it was, I tell you the story, but I'm going to tell it again for the people that didn't hear this. You know, I thought he meant like he was a vegan or ate only natural foods and stuff, but he meant steroids, because back in the day, nobody knew what steroids were. Really not into like the 80s, people didn't really know. Because Joe Weider wanted, you know, bodybuilding as a sport to be in the Olympics. And he knew that everybody's doing this. You can't be a pro bodybuilder without doing steroids. So he knew that if you don't, you know, that if you had to keep that hush-hush. So they never talk, you know, it's with the Weider principles of why everybody got jacked. The Weider protein powders, that's why everybody got jacked. And he didn't want to talk about. Look, I'm talking like Donald Trump with my fingers like this. I never talk like that. I used to finger, the Italian finger, the Italian handkerchief. You know what I mean? So, anyway, where's that book? Okay. So nobody, like, you know, they didn't talk about steroids. So when you read the magazines, any of you older guys know, and the old muscle builder and all that stuff, there was never, ever, ever talk of steroids. That was a hush-hush thing. And if you ever look at the old pictures of Arnold, okay, the old pictures of Arnold when he was winning the not the Olympiad, like the Mr. Universe and all those shows, Arnold was always, the only one that was built was a couple guys. The rest of the guys in the background looked like swimmers, right? You know why? Because Arnold was on juice and they weren't. Anyway, so we're going to talk a lot about all kinds of cool stuff here on Old School Bodybuilding. Nobody's more old school than me, bro. I was there. I met Arnold in 1976, okay? Let me tell you, and he was jacked and he was young. So, and I know him very well, not very well, but pretty well. Anyway, I want to talk about something here. I just showed this book my girlfriend's selling, okay? It's in good condition. You know, it's got a little bit of wear on it and everything. It's an old book. It's Mike Mentzer's Method to Fitness. Now, I'm not telling you that because because in another video I showed you this book and I told you she's on it. So forget about that. That's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about Mike Mentzer for a minute, okay? Because I put up a video recently on my channel, Gregg Valentino, and people go crazy. They still have a thing about Mike Mentzer, who was a great guy. I knew Mike. He was a phenomenal guy, but he was crazy. And so was his brother. And Mike and I had an argument that started in the gym. Not a bad argument, just this disagreement. That started in my gym. It kept going even when we were in the diner. It just kept going. You know what I mean? And it was all about training. Now, we're going to talk about training because that's what this show's about. All right? And this book talks about Mentzer's training philosophy, which is pretty crazy. It's not heavy duty. You know, you see the pictures in here he's got of him. So look at him. Look at him. He's got, dude, this guy had philosophies. He was very smart. And he definitely knew his I mean, you know, he shows himself exercising in here. We're going to get into some of that stuff. But he had an actual really nice physique. He was massive and thick, but he didn't have that, you know, that insane look that guys have today. All right, he didn't have the tiny little waist, but he had like a really unique physique. It was crazy because he was big, yet his lines were good. He had great lines. And his brother Ray, who I knew very well too. I actually knew Mike a little bit better than I knew Ray. I knew Ray from the gym. Ray had spotted me working out a few times. You know, Ray was more moody than Mike, but Ray was crazy, and they were both tough guys, and they both spoke their mind. They didn't hold back. They did not hold back when they talked. I've told stories on my channel again, okay, but this book is, you know, this is his training philosophies and stuff, but it's not the heavy duty. It's his whole idea of bodybuilding as a whole, and how to work out and be fit. Okay, this was his first book, and right there you can see, okay, and I knew you guys were going to show some old school stuff on here, because that's old school, bro, okay, that's old school. I had another book here. I don't know what the hell I did with it. What I did with it, I don't even know. I got all kinds of stuff here. I don't know what the hell I do with anything anymore. Hold on. You know, I'm not too prepared. We just decided to do this show, so ignore the background. Okay, whatever. I forget it. I got Dr. Atkins' book here. Look, this is my girlfriend. This is my girlfriend's book. Look. Why men love bitches. You believe somebody actually made a book about that? Anyway, okay, now shit's gonna start falling all over. Oh! Sorry. See that light? I don't even have it on. Because then it makes my face... Look. Wait, where is it? Ready? Look. Sometimes I put it on some videos. Look. Ah! Anyway. God said, let there be light. Anyway. So. We'll discuss some of that. I'm going to show you some old school stuff, you know, when I'm a little bit more prepared. But today I think maybe I'll talk a little bit about the Mike Mentzer philosophy, and I'm going to read one of our writers now, one of our supporters' comments here. I want you guys, if you want this to work, again, support Chaos Nutrition, support Joe here, Muscle Sport Mag, and definitely put your comments down. You know, I can't answer in the comment section. We'll try to answer, like, you know, hello, goodbye, you know, like, you know, little comments, but I can't answer the questions on how to train. I can't write all that shit up. You know what I mean? As it is, I write in all caps, blah, 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 blah. But what we can do is we'll use it on the show. And I'll even read your name unless you tell me don't read my name. Okay? But we will answer all your questions, your training questions. And we're going to go old school here. This is not none of this stuff, because I'm going to be honest with you, most of these guys today train like shit and don't know how to train and are all steroids. If they're not, you know, you see videos of them, they're lifting heavy weights and screaming in the gym and throwing weights and acting like idiots. But that's because not only are they momos, but they really don't enjoy training or know how to train the way the old school guys did. Okay? Most bodybuilders back in the day, they didn't take steroids all year round, you know. Like Danny Padilla would take it 3 months before a show, even Arnold. Okay? That's why they look different. That's why when you saw Arnold in Pumping Iron 100 days out, he looked like, you know, he was built, but he wasn't jacked. You know, all of a sudden 100 days later, he's over there winning the Olympia and everything. That's because they didn't take steroids all year round. They cycled that. It didn't happen until like the 80s, around the, you know, Rich Gaspari, Lee Haney, all those guys, that era started all that, like, never go off stuff. Okay? But before that, guys would cycle and not stay on. So, these guys today, forget about it. They take a drug for every process of the body. Every process. It's mind-boggling. But that's why there's a lot of trouble in the sport now. And I think that if the powers that be really give a shit about bodybuilding, they would do something, you know. Because 300-pound ripped freaks, yeah, that looks great, but they're not going to be around long. So, all right, let's get talking about training here for a second. All right, the Mentzer way is you know, his mind was amazing, and I know firsthand. He was in my gym. My friend who passed away, he was second in command to Bob Gruskin. Was first, and he was my boy. Bob Gruskin, not my boy, but he trained me, Bob Gruskin. And then, you know, you old school guys know what I'm talking about. You young guys, forget about it. You have no idea what I'm talking about. He even helped Arnold Schwarzenegger, so he's old school. And Judge Olympias and everything, back in the day. And then Alex Abbey, okay, who was your second in command in the NABA, okay? And he was very close with, you know, Mike Mentzer, and he brought Mike Mentzer to my gym, and, you know, Mike Mentzer would come to my gym and sit there and just watch, and just shake his head when he watched me train, because I do more of the John DeFendis intensity or insanity high volume training. And it's kind of what Arnold did, because remember, I've said this before in videos, okay? There's new people watching this, so some of you people, if you heard it before, simmer down, okay? Don't, you don't have to, like, attack in the comments. I keep repeating yourself. Everybody's different, all right? So Arnold used to train each body part 3 times a week. It's the way they all trained back then in the 70s, okay? And he would do anywhere from 35 to 50 sets per body part. There you go. And he would do like three body parts a day, so that's a lot of work. All right. Now, Mentzer, on the other hand, was different. So let's talk just a little bit about the heavy-duty training. How the heavy-duty training is. it's not what you guys think it is. Doesn't mean you just take heavy weights and start just pushing heavy weights and that's all you do. That's not what he meant. Heavy duty meant kick-ass training. Didn't mean that weights always had to be like ridiculously heavy. Now, both Mentzers were strong guys. I don't know if I'm spitting because, you know, Italians, we spit when we talk. New York Italians, we're a different breed. So, New York, New Jersey. So listen to me. Mentzer would take a weight, okay, that he could basically do 8 reps with. Clean. He believed in clean movements, all right? 8 reps he would do. And then he would squeeze out about 4 more reps. 3, 4, 5 reps, depending on the day. And he would fail at 8, though. He would do the 8 reps, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, now is when the set begins. 8 or 9 reps is when the set begins for him. So now, he just failed, right? And he come back down. And he did, and they assist him up. Boom, that's 1. 2. Assisting right up. You know, just helping him just to slightly, just to get the bar up. Again, he go again and again. Now, as he's up, they would strip the weights off. Now he'd go back down, try to get as many clean as he can. He would try to get another 8 clean. And then, they would do the same thing. Help him up with, Now they would, after he got maybe 3 reps or more, now they'd pull more weight off. Okay? Then he would do negatives, like where he couldn't, where he couldn't even lift the bar off. He'd just try to get it off. Like this, get it up a little bit. Then they'd help him up, and they'd make him lower it really slow, but they'd help him up again and make him lower it really slow. Weights come off. By the time he was done doing 1 set, it would take literally almost 5 minutes. That's why when you heard that he could do 1 or 2 sets, that's the Arthur Jones way. Now, I started training. The first gym I ever went to was a gym called Bob Bass Fitness Center, okay? And some of you guys know who he is, some don't, but I was in Yorktown Heights, New York, and he was a disciple. He opened up a Nautilus training center in the mid-70s, and it was right by my house, so that's where I went. And he learned from Arthur Jones, the Nautilus training way, and he would fucking freak out if you did more than 1 set. More than 1 set, and he wanted you to do the Nautilus way, the Arthur Jones way, and that was just like that. He would put you through a workout. You go through the circuit like that. By the time you were done, dude, you don't know. There's people who want to puke. And a lot of guys, if I took most of you guys, even a pro bodybuilders today, if I took them and made them do it the Mike Mentzer way, the heavy-duty way, the way I just told you, you'd have to put a bucket next to them, because most of them guys would chow, okay? And I'm just telling you that. The way is to remember, there's layers to the fibers, and you don't want to, it's not just heavy weight. By the time you're done, he might have done 50 reps, okay, with the weight that first started, with 8 reps, a weight that he could only handle 8 reps with. So that meant that if he did 50 reps, that meant that 42 more reps were the most excruciating, most painful thing that you could ever imagine. There were forced reps. There were negatives, positives, stripped the weights down more. Again, okay, to positive failure. Momentary failure and positive failure, meaning you couldn't move a pencil by the time he was done. A pencil you wouldn't even be able to push. You were just, every fiber in that muscle group that you were training has been destroyed. And the way to do that is you start off with a weight that's obviously kind of heavy, but not too heavy, that you have to fail at 8 or 9, okay? Some days you fail at 8, some days look, I got an extra rep. Okay, but 8 and 9. And then you do the 3 or 4 after that, and that's when the set just keeps going until you've done about 50 reps. That's the Mentzer way. And Dorian Yates used to train I believe, similar to that, okay? He may have trained exactly the same way. Those guys, you can't train with a training partner. You have your training partner is really your spotter. He's the guy that stands there, and you can't do that on your own, obviously. He's the guy that stands there and helps you through the workout. So Mike and a lot of Ray would train together. Mike did a lot with the Jones, Casey Viator. Yeah, some of you old school guys know. But you young guys, you have no clue, bro. You have no clue. You missed the flavor of bodybuilding. This internet stuff with all these jacked freaks. They lost it. They lost it. You understand? They lost it. It's ridiculous. It's out of control. But these guys trained with pure heart and they loved it. And it's not easy to love Mike Mentzer's type of training, the heavy-duty training. It's not easy because of the way you have to push and what you go through. The beast, what you go through, the way you literally destroy yourself in there, in that gym. Every fiber in that muscle has been destroyed. And the only way to do that is keep the layers, keep each layer exhausting each layer. And that's the way, excuse me, Corona, I just got over that. Plus, I had the throat cancer, so you swallow your own saliva and shit. It doesn't go the right way. You got, each time you strip the weights and do the negatives and the positives and stuff, he would sit there with the weight, he couldn't even get it off his chest. He'd push and they'd push against it and wouldn't let him get up even and move and hold it right there, don't move. And it starts to lower like this. No, you gotta put it in. And then they would strip the weights and boom, be back up, and or he'd hold it down, they'd be pushing it down, negatives, and they'd have to hold it a positive and just hear like little partial movements and everything like that, But all the time, he would, maybe a little bit of cheating, but not much, you know what I'm saying? Because you want the muscle to do the work. Dude, that kind of training, that's heavy duty. Heavy duty doesn't mean getting these like ridiculous weights that I see guys doing and they get 3-4 reps and stuff. Guys are squatting with 4, 5, 6 reps. That's a joke. And unless you're juiced out of your mind, you're not going to have big legs. Because when you're juiced, you get big anyway. You could sneeze and get big. But you know what? It's all temporary. Because when you go off your Pee Wee fucking Herman. I'm sorry. Anyway, I know some of you guys like that shit when I do that. But, so, that's heavy duty. That's the Mentzer way. The Mentzer way is to not stop. One set will annihilate you. If you could do 2 sets, you are superhuman. I'm just letting you know that. Okay? It's, that's the way it is. You have to have a partner that's going to assist you. It's not like, well, you go and he goes. I mean, you can do that maybe after you've fully done, and then you do that to him. But then if you're going to do another set, usually he'll do like 3 exercises, okay? And a set, that's it. But he doesn't take all this time. You go from one exercise to the next. You don't sit around and, in his case, smoke a cigarette, because he smokes cigarettes, so do Ray. But, he didn't do that. They killed each other in the gym, and that's the way it is. All right, that's heavy duty explained. Doesn't mean you just grab heavy weights and do low reps with it or train heavy. The word heavy confuses people. All right, the word heavy confuses people. Heavy duty means like ass kicking. So there you go. That was the Mike Mentzer thing. Both train like that, Mike and Ray. And again, remember, it's not the amount of weight you lift. It's to get the work. Put the workload. It's about workload. All right? So now, let's get to a question here by one of you supporters. I don't like to say fans, because we're not like a sports team, and I don't want fans. I like supporters. People that support what you do. I don't look at guys as fans. That word's dirty to me. All right. So now listen to me. Really fast, I want you guys, because I don't want you guys making fun of my handwriting. That's me. I wrote all that stuff, okay? It's if somebody's question, and he wrote it's a little bit of a long question, but, I kind of solidified it, but I can't read my own handwriting. Shut up. Alright, this one I might need a light for. There's another light right here. Forget it, I can't even reach it. Alright, this is by Silat Guy, whatever. Silat Guy? S-I-L-A-T Guy. Anyway, he wants to know, Greg, didn't you used to bench 2 times your body weight? Yes. I've done around 3 times my body weight a long time ago. Oh my God. We'll get into that in a second. Alright, let me see. And then he wants to know, what type of training, let me hold this out like this. What type of training did you employ? Was it intentional or accidental? Not really sure what that kind of training is. Intentional, accidental. But I think I know what he means, and we'll get into it. He wants to know what, so what method did I use? Basically, he's saying that the, longer rest periods with lower reps or less rest periods. He's done HIIT, he said, and, I guess he liked it. But it says high volume seems to recuperate you more. Alright, so Silat Guy, however you say your name. Here's the deal. This is fucking the most craziest thing, and it's funny because I was just talking to my one of my boys about this recently. I used to train with Charlie Gasparino from Fox Business News. He was my childhood friend. We still go out to dinner every once in a while, and his brother Jimmy was this is Dr. James now, but he was my training partner, my only real training partner I ever had, because I trained insane, and he trained insane with me. So, but anyway, that's Fox Business News, Charlie Gasparino. You can Google him, and he's still a brother to me. We're still best friends and everything. Him and his brother. But here's the thing. We were just talking about this because back in the 80s, when I was in my 20s, I freaking could lift more weight than I could when I was super jacked and on massive amounts of testosterone and steroids. Now, granted, I didn't start taking steroids till I was like 35 years old, alright? So I had trained 23 years natural before I ever took steroids. But I was really strong when I was natural. And, at like 165 pounds, I was doing over 500 on the decline bench. And I'm talking about for reps. I stake 315 on the incline, lean it. Look, I sit back and I'd let it lay across my chest like this, right? And I wouldn't even touch the bar, take my hands off the bar. My friends would laugh. You, Jimmy and Charlie Gasparino would laugh. And I just sit there and I lean like this on my chest. I go, ready? And I take a weight and I start pumping it up. And I would do it 20 times. 315 on the incline bench. I was natural. I was 165 pounds. I mean, on a flat bench, I would hit like 405 and the 400s and stuff, And one of the things that, I won a bench show. I'll put the picture here. I won a bench show in 1987, okay? And I only weighed 165 pounds, but I was in a 167 class, which meant up to 167. But here's the thing. With me, the way I gained strength was a little bit different, I think, than a lot of people. And if I got you in a gym, I'd kill you. You would be like, holy shit, because I'm a firm believer, and I don't think anybody, as far as these gurus, they're all about drugs and, diet, drugs, supplements, steroids, the whole bit, right? But me, it's about training, taking you in the gym and making your whole workout change. And here's the thing. When I did this shit, I used to do it from the bottom up. I push my strength. Okay? Now, follow me on this. Follow. What I would do is I would take, alright, let's say some guys go in the gym and they take 315, right? And they go in the gym, 315, excuse me, 135. They'll come in there with, just 45 and a 45 on each side, and they'll pump it out and get 10 reps with it. Why would you get 10 reps with that when you can probably do it 30, 40 times? You see what I'm saying? So my starting base would be, I would want to get like 15 reps would be like to really warm me up. You know what I mean? To get your chest warmed up. 10 reps at 135 is nothing. You might as well just, you're wasting your time to me. So what I would do is I'd find a weight that I could basically get about 12, 13 clean reps and squeeze out 15. And that's what I would do. And that would be my starting base. So I would push the weights up. So when I can get, like, for instance, let's say let's use the one plate on each side. Let's use 135. If I got you in the gym, and that's all you can do. Let's say you can do 15 reps with 135. Boom, 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 boom. You get 15 reps with that, right? You fail at, like I said, around 12, 13, 14 reps, and then you get but you hit that number 15. You got to basically squeeze the last one or two out, all right? What I would do is, the minute you can get that clean, I throw either 5s on each side or 2.5s, because now it's another 5 pounds a day taking 140, and you still have to hit that same number. And when you can hit that same number, you could do 15 clean, put another 2.5s on each side. That's 10 pounds more than you started out with. That's 145. And once you can get that clean, each number you add. In other words, oh God, how can I explain this to you? Okay, we start off with one plate on each side. I'm going to get into numbers. One plate on each side. Once we can get that bottom number, let's say we go from one plate to 25s, then to 10s, and then to 10s, and finally you're at, you're at 2 plates, something like that, okay? Talking about 245s. That's your max. That's what you build up to, okay? That's what you get about, 8 to 10 reps with. I would put those, once I can get the clean reps, I would put like instead of starting off, once I can get 15 clean with the 135, with the 2 plates, I would add either 2.5s or 5s, okay? But 2.5 is a big difference because it's 5 pounds. I know some of you guys, 2.5, but you're pushing it up. So now I leave those 2.5s on, and then I just put I do my normal weights. I add a 25, and then a 10, and then another 10, which is, 245s, and that's it. Then I'll go back again, and now once I get 15 reps with the 2.5s on, I can now add another 2.5, so I add 5. So now you got 5, that's 10 pounds extra, okay? And I still put the 25s on, then the 10s on, so now each time I'm doing it, I'm hitting those numbers. I don't know if do you understand what I'm trying to say? Those 10s become permanent now, those 5s or whatever, they become permanent until I can actually get more reps with them, and then, the next weight, the next level. So in other words, I always start off with a plate, and then whatever that extra weight is, okay, until I'm actually till now, I'm starting off clean. My warm-up is now with 2 giant plates on each side, 245s, and I'm getting the 15 reps with that. Now I go add 2.5s to the 245s. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my new starting weight. But so I have the rep numbers. I start at 15s, maybe go down, the next one's 12 or 10 or, something like that. I'm just giving you an example. Okay? But those numbers become fixed. I never go back down. I never go with 135. That's my new starting weight. So I'm warming up with the weight. I'm still getting 15 reps. Do you understand? That's a warm-up. You don't need to get, or I could do even 20 reps or whatever, but then I have to change the weight. I'm saying to you, I push my weights, I always push from the bottom up. Not from the top. Not as, let's see how much we can do. Let's test our strength today. You do 1 rep. Nobody does 1 rep. Powerlifters don't train like that. That's not good. Okay, that's not. I pushed it from the bottom up. So by the time, do you understand what I'm saying? By the time I push it like this, that top weight, my last set, my heavy set, is now, however many plates I had put on earlier, it's that much more up, and I'm still I'm getting, 8 to 10 reps with that. Does that make sense? Eventually maybe I'll go 6, I'll put more weight on and go 6 to 10 or something like that, but I don't know if I'm making sense to you guys. I never added, like, I didn't do, like, let's see how much we can lift and put, like, all these heavy weights on there. I pushed from the bottom. I started off with my beginning weights. I added each time, it got heavier there. So now I'm warming up, instead of warming up with one plate on each side, I'm warming up with 2 plates on each side, but I'm getting the same amount of reps that I could get with 1 plate. So I've gained strength. Look how much strength that is. It's 245, that's 90 pounds more. Yeah, you build up to that, you know. You may start out by just adding 2.5s to become, the more 2.5s to become 5, 10, 15, like that, until eventually you're up to 2 full plates and you're getting the same amount of reps you got with the 135. Do you understand that? Does that make sense to you? It's its own training system. I did that with everything. I made sure that everything, when something became light to me, too light, it's pointless to get on there and do like 50 reps. 15 reps, 20 reps is more than enough to put blood in there and get it warmed up. But why use a weight that's so ridiculous? You might as well sit there with a pencil and just do this. You know what I mean? So that's why I did it. From the bottom up, from the bottom up. Does that make sense? You guys understand that? Alright. Alright, so listen. This is a quickie today. This is because I just got the call from Joe, today. He said, let's do this. That's why, I'm not even set up in the background and everything like that, so ignore this bullshit. Just Cal's Nutrition, alright? So you support them, put your questions down here. We'll answer, good questions, not stupid shit, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. We'll answer questions. Doesn't matter if it's drugs or whatever, but, we want to get into training, old school training, because there's so much I can tell you, and there's so much there, alright? And remember, the Mentzer way is a great way, but it doesn't work for everybody. A lot of people don't. I don't like that, okay? We'll get more into my training in another video, but the Mentzer way is for some people, where I have friends that did that 1 set, 2 sets, that's it. 3, you're not really doing just 1 set because you're doing, 3 exercises, so it's 3 sets, but to failure, and you're getting 50 reps, up around 50 reps with each one of them, the reps, of course, are forced, like I told you, okay, you're only really getting 8 clean. After that, those next 42 reps are the most torturous reps you'll ever friggin' want to do in your lifetime. Okay, and say he might have gone over 50 at times. I'm just saying, but that's torture. It's torturous. It's torturous. You have no idea, and most people want to fucking puke when they do that. So that's heavy duty, and that's how it's done. Okay? All right. We're going to get into more cool stuff. I'll show you some more cool stuff. I got magazines, like I told you, the Mentzer book. There's so many of them right here. I can't grab because this whole thing's going to come down. And then I'm going to hear Satan. That's my girlfriend's nickname. I'm going to hear her come out here and freak out. And guess who's here? My mother-in-law. They're out in the next room. If you hear Spanish, that's what you're hearing. That's her. I know you guys would love, get her in here, let me see your mother. First of all, she wouldn't do that. And my girlfriend would kill me. And, dude, it might break the lens of this camera, because let me tell you something. She's a nice guy, but she's ugly. Anyway, get it? She's a nice guy. Yeah, she looks like Andre the Giant. If you think Andre the Giant with lipstick was pretty, then you love my mother-in-law. Alright, enough of that. That's for my channel. I know we're talking about training here. So that's what we're going to get into. We're going to do more Chaos Nutrition. Okay? You can go to, they have a YouTube site. They're going to put, I think Joe puts this video on his site, and then he's going to put it back on Chaos. But, the Godfather of Chaos is going to put it on there. Just, again, support the cause. You know what I mean? If you're going to buy a pre-workout, go over there and buy a pre-workout. All these things are pretty much the same shit anyway. So, you know what I mean? Gabish? Alright? Alright. I love you guys. I'm so happy to be doing this again. You have no idea. I even broke out the 70s sweater. Look, this is something like your grandmother. Look, you see it? This is like something your grandmother used to knit when you were a kid, you know what I mean? Now, I'm wearing it, because it's freaking, 0 degrees over here in New York. We're freezing my gagoots off, Forget about it. You have no idea. It's really cold. So, and this shit's warm. I know that I don't even think they make sweaters like this anymore. Who knows? I don't even know. But whatever, right? I know some of you guys, I wore this in another video, and guys are like, "Ah, look at a sweater." You guys are funny. Alright. Then again, looks ain't everything. I should talk. Look at this freaking beak. That's Italian right there. Alright. I'll see you guys in the next video. Put your questions here. Questions. Ask me questions the old school way. You understand? You can ask me some new stuff too. I don't care, but it's old school bodybuilding. What would you want to know about the way it was done when things were pure? None of these guys train like Mike Mentzer today. They would die. They would die. I'm telling you, they can't handle it. They're too big. 300 pounds, you'd fall over. You'd choke. You'd puke. You'd be sick. It's too much blood flow. It's too much blood flow. The blood flow that you would take to do that kind of work, and you have to almost have endurance, bro, to do that. You have to be shocked. You'd be shocked. If Mike Mentzer had you in the gym, and you started putting that weight down before it was time, and you were like pussying out, "No, I can't," he'd smack you, for Christ's sake. Ray Mentzer would fucking spit in your face and punch you in the face. Nah, he wouldn't do that. But I'm just saying, he was crazy. They were crazy. They would look at you like, "Forget it, you're a pussy." Casey Viator, same thing. Same thing, man. And I believe Dorian Yates trained that way. So, but those guys, it's a different era, Those guys, they had the heart of a lion. Alright. Stop fucking around. I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for being here, man. Let's do this.